Phishing scams are something every internet user has to be aware of. It's when hacker attempts to get access to sensitive or financial information by disguising itself as either trustworthy source or exploiting other personal data. A current scam doing the rounds attempts to blackmail unsuspecting victims by claiming to already have their password and to have used it to install spying malware on their computer. The unscrupulous scammers then claim they have recorded footage of the victim watching porn by activating their webcam when they visit these sites. Security professionals have rounded on the scam and have highlighted the kind of message that people may expect to see landing in their inbox. One such example, which was shared on Twitter by programmer Kondurek, reads, "I'm aware that X is your password. You don't know me and you're thinking why you received this mail, right? Well, actually placed malware on the porn website, and guess what? You visited this website to have fun, you know what? Mean? While you were watching the video, your web browser acted as RDP, remote desktop, and keylogger, which provided me access to your display screen and webcam. Right after that, my software gathered all your contacts from your Messenger, Facebook account, and email account. What exactly did do? I made split screen video. First part recorded the video you were viewing, you've got fine taste, haha. And next part recorded your webcam, yep. It's you doing nasty things. What should you do? Well, believe $1,400 is fair price for our little secret. You'll make the payment via Bitcoin to the below address. If you don't know this, search how to buy Bitcoin in Google. BTC address, it is case sensitive, so copy and paste it. Important. You have 24 hours in order to make the payment. I have a unique pixel within this email message, and right now know that you have read this email. If don't get the payment, we'll send your video to all of your contacts including relatives, coworkers, and so forth. Nonetheless, if do get paid, we'll erase the video immediately. If you want evidence, reply with yes, and we'll send your video recording to your friends. This is non-negotiable offer, so don't waste my time and yours by replying to this email. Where this particular scam gets bit scary is that often the password quoted at the top of the email can be legitimate password that the victim has used in the past, given the number of data breaches that have occurred in recent years. Yahoo, Under Armour, Uber and Dixon's Carphone to name few. It's highly likely cyber criminals can obtain older passwords and match them with identifiers such as email addresses. They can then try their luck with phishing blackmail scam that might worry anyone who happened to have visited porn site. Security journalist Brian Krebs highlighted the scam on his own blog, writing that it is likely that this improved sextortion attempt is at least semi-automated. My guess is that the perpetrator has created some kind of script that draws directly from the usernames and passwords from given data breach at popular website that happened more than decade ago, and that every victim who had their password compromised as part of that breach is getting this same email at the address used to sign up at that hacked website. I suspect that as this scam gets refined even more, perpetrators will begin using more recent and relevant passwords, and perhaps other personal data that can be found online, to convince people that the hacking threat is real. It's hard to imagine quite how effective this scam could be, given the vast amounts of people that use the internet for adult entertainment. Imagine you've used your computer to view such content and then you get an email. The sender claims to have hacked your computer and filmed you while you watched whatever it is. It doesn't matter that the pornography you've been viewing is completely legal. The threat to email video of you, enjoying it to your friends and family is enough to make hell of lot of people pay up. So, how do you stay safe if threatened by something like this? Don't pay the ransom if you receive an email like this. It's best to ignore it. And most people will, but that doesn't mean the scammers aren't making lot of money out of the sizable minority who panic and pay. Lee Munson, security researcher for Comparitech.com, explains, the success rate for any scam email campaign is extremely low as the vast majority of such messages get nuked by anti-spam filters and security software, yet it remains huge problem as the cost of entry is so very low. Beyond believability and false sense of urgency, the next greatest trick is to instill sense of dread and panic, which is massive motivating force. Of course, the obvious answer is for people to completely disregard such messages or report them to Action Fraud or the police, but many won't due to the nature of the content. Tim Ailing, Director of Fraud and Risk Intelligence at RSA Security, urges people receiving this kind of threat to stay calm and look for signs it's not real. "Don't panic," he said. Mass phishing emails like this are often poorly put together, and there will often be clear indicators that the email isn't aimed at you. Whether it's badly written English, unusual formatting, or an email address that doesn't match the address book contact, the devil really is in the detail. More generally, unless you know for fact it can be trusted, avoid clicking on any links or attachments in emails. Otherwise you could unwittingly install malware or ransomware on your machine. In this case, it was just scare tactic in order to get ransom, but the email could just as easily have been loaded with something nasty, which would be much bigger problem. He also recommends reporting this kind of phishing attack to Action Fraud, as this will help them monitor the latest scams. The victim's Action Fraud reports that over 110 victims have reported receiving emails like the one above, adding that having their passwords shown to them as nasty twist on the traditional phishing scam. One such victim, Chloe Salt, 26 from Derby, called the scam shocking and said that although she was pretty savvy when it comes to online threats, this one made her nervous. "It made me worried that they had got hold of my old password. It was long time ago when used it, but it made me feel nervous. How had they got that information?" she told Derbyshire Live. It was very threatening and obviously aimed at targeting vulnerable people or people who would fall for such con. It went on to say that if contacted the police then it would be waste of time as they had covered their tracks. "It's really scary that they can get an old password but also claim to get access to your webcam. The police have told me that it is possible to gain access to webcams, so have been thinking and questioning what they might have filmed. But I am sure it would have been me just sat there looking at my phone." Action Fraud offers advice. The organization has therefore offered the following advice to anyone who suspects they are being targeted by sextortion scam. Don't be rushed or pressured into making decision. Paying only highlights that you're vulnerable and that you may be targeted again. The police advise that you do not pay criminals. Secure it. Change your password immediately and reset it on any other accounts you've used the same one for. Always use strong and separate password. Whenever possible, enable two-factor authentication 2FA. Do not email the fraudsters back. Always update your anti-virus software and operating systems regularly. Cover your webcam when not in use.